Hello, listeners. My name is Ian Outkirk, and I am a training facilitator in customer care as well as management. In this lesson of customer care, we will be looking at the satisfaction factor and how we can keep a customer satisfied during interaction. First of all, let's get a definition of customer care out of the way. One definition that simplifies the statement of customer care is a very short one that was written by Monica Kisiluska and goes like this, open quotes. The building of emotional connections between companies and customers, close quotes. Let me add that these emotional connections will only occur and build if you agree that there is a correlation between being a people person and wanting to satisfy the requirements of a customer. And I will be expanding on the emotional part in my customer care communication factor podcast. With that in mind, one has to remember that a customer is not dependent on a company. The company is dependent on a customer. Further, a customer is someone who brings his or her wants to a company, and it's the representatives of a company who are expected to handle them in the best way possible, satisfactorily to the customer and the company. Just remember that a customer determines what a business needs, not a business determines what a customer wants. When that business has what a customer wants and delivers it in the manner the customer feels is acceptable, the company has started to cater for repeat customers. There is a three-part formula for creating repeat customers. This formula is called Satisfy, Keep, Involve. Starting with the first part of the formula, that is satisfy, you first have to determine who are my main customers. When this is determined, it gives an idea where analysis has to be concentrated. This analysis would be to determine categories such as likes and dislikes, gender, geographical areas, age, and preferences. When these categories are further analyzed, you can tailor your product or service to the customer's requirements. This does not mean that customers who do not fall under the main category are forgotten. What happens is that one now has to work on getting that lot into the main category through extra interaction, which will determine what needs to be adjusted to make your service or product more interesting, and what would be the challenges for this involvement. The next part of the formula concerns keeping the customer. This can only happen if a concerted effort is made to acquire as much information as possible about the customer's likes and dislikes, and ensuring that the we care attitude is alive by ensuring that all customer interactions are authentic and genuine. The third area of the formula is involvement, which goes a little further than keeping the customer, although it may seem slightly related. First of all, in the involvement process, one needs to examine the service or product being provided through the eyes of the customer. In that way, one is more able to provide the customer with what he or she requires. Further, treat all dissatisfied customers as assets. By that I mean that their areas of dissatisfaction can be changed to satisfaction once complaints were genuine. Being patient and solution oriented always helps. To satisfy and keep the customer through involvement, as I previously said, requires a certain friendly interaction with the customer through care, attentiveness, following up on any promises made to get more information or product of service details. Further, being able to communicate, I will elaborate a little more on communication a little later in my podcast, professionally with the correct manner of speech is important. Of note, manner of speech covers grammar, tone, clarity, and inflection. Ensuring that the customer is always friendly requires that you get involved through helping to solve problems quickly, paying full attention, giving alternatives. This is called upselling, and we'll elaborate on this later. And being also positive on your deliveries. At this point, we need to take the customer satisfaction involvement a step higher by addressing a few areas in detail. A certain mindset has to be adopted, whereby through some resilience, you tell yourself that your job is to see that customers who interact with you always leave your place of business with what he or she came to purchase. If the customer was unable to leave with what they wanted, then that customer should have been offered options. More on this later. In ensuring that the satisfaction factor abounds, the interpersonal aspect needs to be addressed through the use of correct voice, tone, body language, and word interpretations. Being creative and positive along with good product or service knowledge brings out the edge in the satisfaction factor. It is important to note that there will be times when sales and other frontline personnel will have to be engaged in problem solving. The mere fact that you would be interacting with several customers and potential customers means that there will be many times that you will have to be figuring out ways in solving various problems that arise during interactions with the customer, and therefore you need to take the right steps in solving customer related problems to ensure that the customer is satisfied from the right decisions made. There are some steps that allow you to address problem solving in an easy manner. These steps are as follows. First, you have to get the facts, and these facts must be quantifiable, measurable, and provable. If there are a limited number of facts that are unable to make an impact and cannot be relied on to be used in a proper manner, there will be an improper solution. The second step requires analyzing the facts that have been collected. You have to look at all the issues to be able to identify the main problem, as invariably there will be a main problem along with other minor ones. Obviously, the main problem will have to be first addressed. Having carried out your analysis to determine the main problem, you have to consider alternative solutions, and this can only be done if you be creative and develop ideas. The next step in the problem solving cycle is selecting a solution and instituting. Prior to the actual instituting of a solution, one has to determine who or what team will institute the solution and the methods of acceptance of the solution. Beware of persons who may resist the solution to the problem and prepare for explanations of the solution. Obviously, the solution implemented will have to be monitored and reevaluated if the solution does not work. In ending this section, remember, a customer is happy when you deliver your product or service with a smile and a pleasant attitude, and when he or she is attended to on time. Please send any comments on my care factor and look out for my next podcast on customer care, which deals with communication. Thank you.